Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to do something a little different in this video. I wanted to talk about the death of one of my classmates, a girl I went to high school with. Uh, I didn't know her that well, but we were classmates. We knew who each other were. And she went to Clarion University and here in Pennsylvania, and then she graduated and moved to Florida. And she was a part of a Masonic fraternity at Clarion University. And she moved to Bradenton, Florida. And her death was very, very suspicious. And I want to see if anybody else has ever had anything like this happen in their life with people they knew or were close to, family members, friends, etc. Because there's some really interesting things about this. And when this first happened back in 2017, I didn't know as much as I knew now. But knowing what I know now, there are some things that really jump out about this death because this was a very suspicious death right when it was first reported. So I'm going to go through this. Now, this girl, this story was from KDKA News in Pittsburgh. They first broke the story. It says a young woman from Butler County was killed Sunday in Florida. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, it says 24-year-old Ashley Hasachak of West Sunbury was hit by a car while she was crossing the street. Her love of children and passion for teaching was the reason she was in Florida. Now, the thing here is, what's so suspicious about this is if you've been following this work for any extended period of time, you know that her name, summing to 56 in the most pure cipher, should jump out right away, right? The big Society of Jesus number, Society of Jesus, Washington, D.C., U.S. government, Paris, France, where the Jesuits are who operate by this code every day. They're all, and again, we know the 56 list. There's a hell of a lot more to this. But her death was supposedly on January 15th, 2017. She was supposedly struck by a Lincoln Town Car that was driven by Gary Moses. And the accident happened in Bradenton, Florida. And I have a real suspicion about this death. I do not think that her death was natural, and I do not think that what they are reporting in any way is the truth, which it usually never is. Now, what's interesting about this is her birthday is June 18th, and she was born in 1992 in West Sunbury. And I want you to see how West Sunbury, Society of Jesus, and Paris, France. Again, Society of Jesus is the Jesuits, and they're in Paris, France. Notice how they're all 187. Now, 187, you might also know, is the homicide code. You dial 187, you'll be connected to the police, like 911. But Washington, D.C. also has the 187. That's where the Jesuits have been longer than the federal government. Now, what's interesting here is she died 155 days before her upcoming birthday, what would have been her 25th birthday. And the date she died, January 15th, that's a date that's written 115, right? 115. Notice the school she worked for, Manatee County School District, 115. And when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology, it's 155, like how she died 155 days before her upcoming birthday. Also 5 months and 4 days. And then the most pure cipher, the dark blue Jesuit orders, 54. Now, the thing is, from her last birthday to the date she died was 211 days. And we know that's a big boss number, right? 211's the 47th prime number. And we're going to come back to that in a minute here. But I'm going to read a little bit about this. This is the official report from the Manatee County, wherever she was in Florida. But anyway, it says a pedestrian was struck and killed early Sunday morning, the Florida Highway Patrol reports. Dead is Ashley Hasachak, 24, of West Sunbury, Pennsylvania. So they're making it seem like she was jaywalking, right? You were jaywalking, and she supposedly got struck by a vehicle at like midnight, 1 in the morning, which really doesn't make any sense to be out at 1 in the morning on a Sunday when you have school the next day. She was a teacher, right? Very suspicious story. Makes me wonder why she would have been out that late. But it says, according to the report, right? And that's the thing about these reports, too. It's always the official police report, the Highway Patrol, which is the police, right? They're the first on the scene. In a world of nothing but surveillance and technology everywhere, there's no security cameras, there's no surveillance footage, there were no witnesses. It was only the police. The police are the first on the scene. But anyway, according to the report, Gary Moses, 54, of Bradenton, was traveling north on US 41 in his Lincoln Town car, approaching 55th Avenue West, when Hasachak stepped into the path of the vehicle at about 12:49 a.m. We're going to get to why that matters. Moses struck Hasachak, knocking her onto the sidewalk into a light post. So, first of all, is Gary Moses a real person? Is that really his name? Or is he an undercover police officer that might be employed by the you-know-who? Trying to 86 somebody that had the right numbers, unfortunately. But the thing about this is, again, so supposedly Gary Moses was the reason that the police are just going to believe that he hit her into a sidewalk, into a light post? Really? But anyway, it says Hasachak was transported to Blake Medical Center where she died. Moses was not injured in the accident. And the thing is, it says the accident remains under investigation. And her parents still live pretty close to me. I'd like to know what official police report bullshit they were told, because I guarantee what happened to her daughter is not what their daughter was not what they're reporting right now. And the thing is, you can follow up. I've tried to follow this story up for years, and there's never closure on it. Every story ends this way. It remains under investigation, But I guarantee you whatever the final conclusion was not what happened to this girl. And again, Gary Moses, 54 years old, right? Jesuit order, 54. And the thing about it is, Gary Moses was from Jesuit Bradenton. They have one of the most prestigious private schools in the Bradenton, Tampa area, big private Jesuit school down there. It says he was traveling north on US 41 in his Lincoln Town car, approaching 55th Avenue West. And wouldn't you know it, Gary Moses sums to 41, like how they said he was 54 years old. I mean, is this all a coincidence? This is a big coincidence if it is. Her surname's got the 41 as well. Now, the story, they try to blame Ashley and say that she supposedly was in front of the vehicle and that she got hit at 12:49, 49th minute of the day, and it knocked her onto the sidewalk and into a light post. But notice Gary Moses is also 49. And remember, America, Washington, they're all 49. And Gary Moses supposedly killed her basically on the 49th minute of the day, even though she didn't die in the hospital. And again, the Jesuits were recognized. The Jesuits were created by Paris, August 15th, right? 15/8, Freemasonry is 158. Freemasonry, the Jesuit order, is a part of Freemasonry. That's the 227th day of the year. 227 is the 49th prime number. And it just really, really makes me wonder what really happened that night. And I noticed Gary Moses, his name's got the 121, and blood sacrifice is 121. And it's also 257, which is the 55th prime. And this story, the death supposedly happened on the 55th Avenue West. And I really, this really has me wondering, man. Even as I'm saying this right now, it just has me thinking, like, It's not just celebrities that are dying by this code. A lot of these kids that go to college and are a part of these fraternities, these sorority girls and frat boys, a lot of them don't realize what they're really a part of. But anyway, the 121 has a square root of 11, right? 11 times 11 is 121. We're going to get to that in a minute. But notice 67 is the big blood sacrifice number. It's a number we talk about all the time with suspicious deaths. And the school district she worked for, Manatee County School District, when you run the alphabetic order, is 331, the 67th prime number. Now, the thing about this is it says Ashley graduated from Montauk High School in 2010. That was where I went and graduated. Same year, same school. It says, and then received both her bachelor's and master's degrees in speech pathology from Clarion University, where she was a member of the Zeta Tau Alpha sorority. Her most recent adventure relocated her to Bradenton, Florida, where she worked as a speech pathologist at Jesse P. Miller Elementary School and was loved by her students. Now, look at this sorority she was a part of. ZTA, right? When you run the alphabetic order, Z, the 26th letter, T, the 20th, A, the 1st. You add it up, it's 47. Remember, she died 211 days after her birthday, which is the 47th prime. And that's a big number, right? Authority, policeman, cop, government, they're all 47. DC's 47. Don't forget Judge, gavel, president, White House, Republican, Whig, Democrat, France, agent, they're all 47. Joe Biden in office after being in DC for 47 years. But 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. Not a coincidence that she died 211 days after her last birthday. 47 is how you measure the tropics, that measure the solstices, right? 23.5 degrees north, 23.5 degrees south, added up 47, right? And, in light of policemen and cops summoned to 47, just think about it, right? Why do you think there's so many unsolved mysteries in this world? Why do you think so many people, they can't figure out what happened to this person, that person, yet the police are always the first on the scene? Who do you think's really murdering these people? It is the police. It is the authority. It is the government, tying it all into population control, They believe by doing this, it's a way to, appease their gods, just like in ancient Rome, right, where the Jesuits are. No doubt. And that's why they say your number's up. People like this, Ashley, she had the right numbers or the wrong ones, depending on how you look at it. But makes me wonder, this Gary Moses guy, was he a police officer? Maybe. He very well could have been. But I would like to get a hold of her parents and find out what story they were actually told and share this video with them and her family, just to try to get some closure for me, because I do not think that this is happening. Because again, why would somebody who was a teacher be out at 1 o'clock in the morning, a day before you got to be in school, because she died on January 15th, right? So the kids had school. It wasn't like it was summer break. I knew this girl. I know for a fact she wouldn't have been at a bar or a club or intoxicated. No. Doesn't make any sense why she would have been out there. And, was she told to be out there? And if she was at that time, who told her and why? Questions we'll probably never have an answer to. But the thing is, Gary Moses and blood sacrifices I talked about are both 121 that has a square root of 11. And the sorority she was a member of is 11 in the most pure cipher, master numerology. They love their master numbers, right? 11, the master number. The word cop, also 11. DC, also 11, Big boss number. And 66 is the 11th triangular number, and the full name also sums to 66. Now, I have no doubt, again, like I've said many times, just look at the perfect overlap in all four base ciphers. She worked at Jesse P. Elementary, 270, 108, 351, 135. The Jesuit slogan, the Jesuit motto, when translated to English, means "for the greater glory of God." 270, 135, 351, and 108. Perfect overlap in all four base ciphers. And again, I mean, why do they sacrifice people? Again, because it's right there in their motto, for the greater glory of God. They feel like this is what they have to do to fulfill their life's destiny, you know? And that's how sick these people are. And this is what we have to put a stop to. But yeah, what's interesting about this is, well, there's a couple of things interesting about this fraternity. The thing is, seek the noblest, the motto, sums to 160, like admirum Dei gloriam, which means for the greater glory of God. This is the Latin word for it. And seek the noblest and admirum Dei gloriam are both 160. So again, no secret that the Jesuits are behind this fraternity, and really probably all fraternities, right? And again, notice what it says right here. They currently have more than 257,000 initiated members, which Ashley was one of. And remember, 257 is the 55th prime, and she died on West 55th Avenue. And again, in the most pure cipher, Zeta Tau Alpha 42, Freemason 42, Jesuit 42. It's no secret whatsoever that the Jesuits are behind this fraternity. And again, Ashley died at age 24. Rome is 24. So R.I.P. to Ashley. One thing I will say, she's in a better place than the rest of us. But, you know, this is the stuff that we need to put an end to, because I guarantee this girl did not die naturally. I guarantee she did not die naturally. You know, this was murder by numbers. It's as plain as day. And I would like to have some closure on this. So, yep. R.I.P. Ashley, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Till next time.